Okay, now that I'm not being creepy, let's get into this April TBR, shall we? All right, so yeah, I'm wearing the same clothes as I was in the wrap up because I'm trying to get some videos posted, you guys. I'm trying to stay consistent, but it's getting really hard. But yeah, I would have to say my TBR for April is very ambitious. As of late, I've only been able to finish 4 to 5 books within any given month. But I think I'm going to set the bar a little higher this month. I think I'm going to go ahead and go, I was about to say something really inappropriate, but I'm gonna just let that one go. I'm gonna just let it flat out my mind. But basically I have both books that I own and both books from the library that I wanted to check out. I want to start getting into the habit of reading books before I purchase them. I haven't bought a book since the beginning of February, so I already know April is about to go down. I'm about to go on like a book binge, and it's gonna be freaking crazy. I can already feel my fingers tingling. I'm waiting for this like library sale to pop up this month, so just be on the lookout for that because it's gonna get real. So I have a total of like 8 books I want to try and read this month. I'm not gonna say this is like a concrete TBR because I may add something, I may take something away, but yeah, this is what I'm interested in reading this month, so let's get into it. So I'm going to start with the books that I got from the library, since I will probably be trying to get into these first. So that way, when it's time to turn them in, I've already read them. Okay, so the first book that I have is Upstream by Mary Oliver. This is a book about selected essays that she wrote, and I think like maybe poems in regards to her connection. Oh, the glare is terrible. Her connection with nature and things like that. I've never read any Mary Oliver, and I really wanted to check this book out because it's like $16 on Amazon, and if I'm gonna buy a book for $16, I gotta know it's good stuff. I follow a poet and a writer, Alex L, and she recommended this book on her Instagram, saying that it will change your life. I'm all for life-changing shit, so let's hop into it. I've already read, I think, about 8 pages so far, and it was very interesting. And yeah, it put me in like a really calm place. So I'm interested to see what else this book has in store. The next book is The Mother of All Questions by Rebecca Solnit. I have been seeing this around a lot on Bookstagram and things like that. It's a very cute, very bright, vibrant orange color. And I think she wrote another book, Men Explain Things to Me. I believe she's like a feminist and things like that. I don't identify as a feminist, but I'm always interested to read feminist works and things like that. It doesn't seem to be too long. And what's really intriguing to me is the random works of art that just happen to pop up in here. I'm trying to find one. Like just random piece of art like that I find really cool. So as my first Rebecca Solnit, I'm really interested to hear what she has to say. I've heard some good things about her writing. So yeah, I'm really excited to pick that up. The next book I've seen has been not heavily popular, but I've seen it a few times on BookTube. It's The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is a contemporary. Basically, it's about 2 individuals. They both work at the same place. I think they're both like in editing or something like that, and they are both up for the same promotion, and they can't stand each other, and then I guess eventually they end up liking each other, and then they fall in love. I'm all for the hate to love trope. You can burn me at the stake for that, but that's one of my favorite tropes to read. 10 Things I Hate About You is one of my favorite movies, so there we go. I will let you guys know how it goes. I was in the mood for some romance and some little witty repartee, so yeah. The next book I've actually had, like when I go on my book buying binges and things like that, I make lists of like books that I need to get, like books that I really want to get. And this book has always made it to my list, but it's always been like the ones with like a little asterisk next to it, like maybe next time type of thing. But I've never actually bought it, and I've heard some good things about it. It was the winner of the Man Booker Prize, so I'm like, girl, you're loafing. And it was like calling out to me. I was like, I need to read this book now, so that way when I do my binge buying, I can go ahead and put this on there because I know I'm probably gonna love it. The Sellouts by Paul Beatty or Beatty. not really too sure how to pronounce his last name. And basically it's, I'm gonna just read what it says on the back. He was born on the southern outskirts of Los Angeles. He spent his childhood subjectively in racially charged psychological studies and has since resigned himself to the fate of a lower middle class Californians. Raised by a single father, a controversial sociologist, he is told that his father's work will lead to a memoir that will solve their financial woes. When his father is killed in a police shootout, he realizes there was never a memoir. All that's left is a bill for a drive-through funeral. Sort of like this satire, like it's heavily based in race, but it's also like this storyline following this guy sort of like moving through his life and sort of dealing with certain changes and things like that. And it's gotten rave reviews. So I don't really know too much how the storyline goes, but I know that it's always been on my to be bought list. So this month it will be the to be read. I will let you guys know how that goes. Now for the next 4 books, these are actually books that I own. So I will probably be getting to these later on in the month. Well, actually, some of them. The first book that I want to try and get to is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Very popular book. I have actually never read this book. I saw the movie, but I've always wanted to read it. And then I saw that my younger sister actually had to read it for school. And so she had a copy, and so I just snatched that from her really quick. I know how emotional I got in the movie, and that shit was lit. So I can only imagine how many feels I'm about to be in with this book. This cover is just amazing. I don't know, she may not get this back. I'm just saying, she already read it, and you know how kids are in their books. They don't be paying attention. So yeah, this might just walk away from her, but I'm really hyped to read this. The next book is actually something that's relatively new, and it's very popular out right now. And this is actually my dad's copy. The author actually came to his job to speak, and he got a signed copy. So I was hyped for him. I don't know if he was that hype about it, but I was hyped about it. You got a signed copy of a book, and you got to meet the author. That's fantastic. So Tears We Cannot Stop by Michael Eric Dyson. It's been blurred by Toni Morrison and Stephen King. Toni Morrison calls it a work to relish, full of guidance for moral redemption. Then Stephen King says, I read it and said amen. Need I say more? Like, why wouldn't I pick this book up, and why wouldn't I just totally like just gush over it? Like, I don't know, it's funny, any book that's blurred by Toni Morrison or Stephen King I end up picking up, but I really have never read any of their actual works, which is something I hope to remedy this year. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I'm trying to not read this first because I have this whole stack of library books, but I don't know, this might just have to get bit into a little early. The next book is something that I am really excited to read. I have not read it since the 10th grade. You know when you have those books and it just sticks with you forever? Like, when I say I can remember where I was sitting in my lit class, I was in 10th grade, what I was wearing when I read this book, and it's just been a story that's really stuck with me. And so when I was doing like my winter haul and everything, and I was like, ooh, I saw it for like $3 on thriftbook.com, I was like, I had to get it, and it's in amazing condition as well. Shabanu, Daughter of the Wind, by Suzanne Fisher Staples, and it's about this girl and her life growing up in the desert and sort of going through the transition of being a child and then transitioning into becoming a woman, and what expectations are set on her from her family, culturally, and you know, sort of like the expectations she has of herself. Follows her and her family. I believe her families work with like camels or something like that. I can't really remember. The small details like that are sort of like faded from my memory, but I just remember it's a lot to deal with, you know, her, you know, finding the sense of obligation to her family. You know, she's betrothed in this arranged marriage, but then something goes down to where she ends up having to become like the fourth wife to like this wealthier man, and her sort of having to deal with that, just with taking control over her life. And this story, it was probably one of the first stories that I've read with like a non-American character in it, and that's probably why it stuck with me, is because I really got to see through her eyes in this book, and the author did a great job of sort of getting you emotionally invested within the character. So I really enjoyed this book, and I'm really excited to get back into it. I'll let you guys know how this goes. It's not a very long book at all, so I'll probably breeze through this thing. But yeah, can't wait to read it. The last book that I am so like, when I bought this duology, I was sort of so hesitant to buy it just because there was so much hype and people like really, like I'm talking about, were willing to sell like their firstborn child to like get this duology and everything. So I've had it on my shelves for a while, but I finally decided to just take that plunge and go down the rabbit hole and see how far it'll take me and whether or not I will just totally like fall in love with it. I have not really gotten into a series since, I want to say, Hunger Games. Well, that's a lie, because I did really like the Divergent series. So the book that I'm talking about is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I know some of y'all are like, girl, how have you not read this book yet? And I was like, I don't know. I've just been a little intimidated. One, because it's like a chunker. Maybe it's not that big. I mean, okay. It's about like 500 pages. But I really loved how the book looks, and it's just been sitting pretty on my shelf. And when I initially got the book, I let my sister start reading it first, but she only got like 100 and some odd pages in, so she wasn't about that life, obviously. And I guess that's sort of what deterred me a little bit, is because she was like, I can't really get into it. Oh no, did I do a bad buy? But I think I'm ready to get into this book and really see what it has in store, and I'm really excited to share my experience with you guys as a newbie to the duology. So yes, that is all that I have for my April sort of TBR. More than likely I will not get to all of these books, but I just wanted to let you guys know what was to be in store for my April wrap up. And like I said, I will keep you guys posted. Some of these might get individual reviews because I'm feeling those a little bit. Some I might try and do some of those as I'm reading along or check in with you guys. But like, subscribe. If you have any comments or questions about what I'm reading or suggestions, please hit me up in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace, love, and happy reading.